What's poppin' world? Y'all tapped in with the Head of the Game podcast. Yet once again, we got a controversial discussion that we got to talk about. Y'all read the title, let's get busy. How should I go about this? Well, the reason why I think sports media is either dead or is dying. Either or, it's up to you. And this is just my personal opinion. I don't know. Some people might like the state of the sports media landscape as is, and where this came from. But this is my issues with the sports media, where it's at, and then I'm going to explain where it was, and then maybe I'll throw in possibly where it's going. So the current state of it right now, I'm going to be honest, it's too biased. It's not about the game. It's more so about the story, right? The narrative. So it's either a lot of ass kissing or a lot of shame and slander, and reason why I don't like that is just because it's favoritism. It's a popularity contest. And when I see a bunch of grown ass men sitting around in suits in a panel and they doing all this ass kissing and butt kissing and all this other stuff, and then yet on the other hand, you got certain people sitting up there denigrating and talking down to people like, oh, he's soft, or oh, he's weak, or oh, he doesn't have the gene of a killer. Like, it's just like, it's a perfect example is like, if you can look at all the CEOs of all the Fortune 500 companies, and you were to see how each company is ran, there's number one, there's number two, there's number three, but they're all Fortune 500 companies, and nobody's sitting up there saying, oh, well, Apple sucks because Google is exceeded this amount of sales within this quarter, or nobody's talking about it like that. They're both, you can have a preference of seeing which one is better than which, but nobody's putting down one over the other. Like, iPhone sucks because I got a Galaxy, or Galaxy sucks because... Nobody sits up there and makes those kind of hard comparisons. We understand that it's all speculation and preference. When it comes down to sports, understanding that, yes, at the end of the day, there is wins and losses, and there's not so much, subjective, component in comparison to the objective, end result. But when it comes down to the players and stuff like that, like I said, I don't like all these grown-ass, middle-aged and elderly-ass, grown-ass men sitting up there kissing behind and be like, oh my gosh, did you see it? And being all animated and all this other stuff, man. It's just a bad look, and that's why I'm glad that, you got a lot of these athletes that got their own podcasts, stuff of that nature, adding a different layer to the sports media, only due to the fact that now they can say their side, they can give their insight, they can give a perspective, or even if they being attacked, they can defend themselves, you feel me, instead of just leaving it up to the public consumption of who's writing the narrative, and somebody got to sell a story, so they got to put a little mustard or a little hot sauce on it just to make it sound more compelling, and I just don't like it. I don't like it. Now, going back 20 years ago, sports media used to be stats, matchups, history, it was about the game. Yeah, you had your, Sports Center, and you had your highlights, and, somebody might have got ran over, or somebody might have got dunked on, but it was never, like, even the person that was on the receiving end of that highlight, they understood, like, hey, man, he got the best of me. It's a part of the game. I'm on a highlight reel, and that's where everybody understands signing on a dotted line. Like, you're playing a professional sport, but it's really an entertainment industry because it's for public consumption. That's why the dollars come in the way they do, because it's televised, it's globalized, and it's covered in a way to where lots of people were able to invest in the spectacle, you know? So, understanding all that, I just feel like those times it was more so about the game itself, not personalities and not all, oh, such and such almost got into a fight and all this other like messy stuff. It's real high school. That's why I just feel like the current state of sports media, that's why they got new media. New media is supposed to really be the old media. And what I mean by that, new media, which is what the players are coming out with, is really where the media was at in the 90s, in the 80s. You know, where you had John Madden, and you know, they wasn't sitting up there, oh my gosh, like, shut your, like, bro, I be having to turn my phone off or click the dang show off, because it's just like, you ruined my mood. Everybody wants to, you know, have their little show or whatever they got on in their background as they preparing for their day as they going to work. And you got stuff like this going on, to where it's like, I don't even have the mental capacity for it. Like, it's like, it's so redundant and they keep reiterating the same points. It's like you're literally losing brain cells. You're literally losing brain cells just listening to them reiterate the same point and trying to just sell it to you the same way. And it just, you can hear the frustration in my voice, honestly. Now, where I feel like sports media is going, that's a two-part situation. But I'm just give you my opinion. I'm not gonna give you the toss up of it's either gonna go in a good or a bad way. I feel like sports media is dead. It's gonna die, and I'm gonna tell you why. They're running out of stuff to talk about. I feel like a lot of cliques and what made a lot of careers, you know, is covering certain players. Y'all know certain players' names where you just good, bad, or indifferent, and credit to them, they market themselves in a way to be able to be covered like that. But for the most part, yeah, people are gonna get tired of it. Eventually, this is what I'm gonna tell you where media is going to. The players are gonna cover themselves, and people are gonna stop running to journalists and all that's gonna be obsolete. They're not gonna want to hear from a journalist anymore because they're losing credibility every day. Spinning narratives, and people can see right through it. Like, they can see their intentions. So that's what I feel like sports media is going to. It's going to a place where nobody's gonna want to hear from a journalist. When an athlete can just turn on his camera phone or have his own production studio and just pretty much be like, hey, this is how I feel, this is how the game went. And understanding that, yeah, okay, certain players got to do press conferences and stuff. It's in their contract or whatever, but that's going to lose its credibility. So, that being said, if y'all got anything to add on with this perspective, go ahead, leave it down below. Thanks for watching. Comment, like, subscribe. More videos on the way. I'm up out of here.